All right. So for today, what we're going to be doing is Enchantress. For those who don't know, Enchantress is a archetype in Legacy where you basically lock your opponents from being able to interact with you, and then you kind of do your own thing until you kill them. In Enchantress in Legacy, I believe you have a completely different win condition, where in here we don't have much of a win condition other than Destiny Spinner. But the idea of the deck is you draw cards, you gain life, and you make it so your opponent can't do anything. To do that, you've got some ramp with the Utopia Sprawls and the Abundant Growth. You've got removal in the form of On Thin Ice and Prismatic Ending and Oblivion Ring to make it so they can't hit you. You've got Solitary Confinement at the beginning of your upkeep. You have to sacrifice it unless you discard a card. Not a big issue as long as you're drawing more than one card a turn, even though you're skipping your draw step. And then you have Shroud and you prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. So there are ways to get around it, but for the most part, that's how you lock the game out, is you do that, and then you land at least 2 Enchantress effects. An Enchantress effect is whenever you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. So we're running that, Sithis, and Steslin Champion as our way to draw cards. And then we've got 4 Sterling Grow, so that way we can go tutoring for any enchantment that we may need, and just as a way to make it so that way our stuff can't be targeted. And you've got Sanctum Weaver to help you produce mana. Sigil of the Empty Throne, I brought in main board. Most lists aren't running it main board. It's typically a sideboard card, but I liked what we had in the sideboard and I didn't want to change anything. So what this does is it makes angels. That's how we're going to close out the game, is by creating just a board state and swinging for lethal. And then you're ever so slightly a red splash because Blood Moon is a great enchantment, especially when you're running just a bunch of basics in the terms of snow-covered forests and snow-covered plains. For our sideboard, what we've got going on is we've got 1 more ending in case we need more removal. We've got 3 ley lines so that way we can protect our hand and our face. Suppression Field to stop activated abilities. Stony Silence to stop artifacts. Rest in Peace to stop graveyard stuff. Another Blood Moon in case Blood Moon's real good in the matchup. We want a second one. A Seal of Primordium as a way to get rid of pesky artifacts or enchantments. Veil of Summer so that our stuff cannot be countered if we're trying to resolve a spell. And then an Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn, as an alternate win condition because Sanctum Weaver will produce a lot of mana, or as an anti-mill effect because why not? That's the basic rundown of Enchantress, and let's hop into a game here and see how we can do with it. All right, we won the die roll here. We will gladly take the play. We've got Enchantress effects, Destiny Champion, Destiny Spinner, Abundant Growth. Sure. We'll lead off with a Misty Rainforest, pass the turn. No need to play out the Abundant Growth yet. I would like to get down the Sithis first. So we're facing Affinity here. Or is it Hammer? It's Affinity. Cool. And they don't really have a way to deal with enchantments main board. We just have to live long enough to have fun. Go get ourselves a forest. If opponent would let us. We get a forest, we play out Sithis. We block Memnite if they attack with it. And then we go Spinner Abundant Growth for ourselves 3 off of the 2 cards that we'd be playing. Drop Sithis, pass the turn. This will gain us enough life, hopefully. A Citadel, Mirror Enforcer, okay. Swing with just the Fragmite, we'll take the 2. Of course. How you doing, Alex? Stretch for snow-covered plains, abundant growth. Chilling in, etc. Glad to hear, glad to hear. We draw... Look at that. We're going to draw a bunch of mana. Then an ending. That's nice. We're at 17 and we have a 2-3. Glimmer Void, Ornithopter. Assuming this is... Oh. Okay. Greater Hoof gives a good amount of +X/+X. Crater Hoof. Neoform Affinity. So 11, and then these have trample. Okay. Believe this is just we're dead. I'm not gonna math it. I'm just gonna block. Yeah. Okay, so Neoform Affinity. Stony Silence, get in here. Ending is all right. Blood Moon's decent. Setessan Champion's pretty great. Math is for blockers. Sigil is meh. Abundant Growth can come out. And I think that's everything that we would want. Yeah. We'll try it. Yo, internet, stop dropping. So we've got the O-ring, we've got a Stony something. Yeah, we keep this. Like, there's nothing to debate about keeping this hand. And roll. Yep. We've got 2 targeted removal pieces. We've got Setessan Champion to grow and draw. We've got just about everything that we could possibly want here. They went to 6. Darksteel Citadel, Springleaf Drum. Oh, baby. Stony Silence about to look real nice. And a Frogmite. You've got yourself a 2/2, bud. Stony Silence, pass the turn. There's a Memnite. All of Heliod. Lay down the champion and pass the turn. And they concede. Stony Silence. Pretty good card against. God, I hate that card. Every time I play against Stony Silence as Affinity, I hate it. Man, it feels good resolving that card against Affinity. Oh, that's evil. We would have gone Sithis into On Thin Ice. Actually, we would have gone Sithis into Grove. All right. Run it back. This time with feeling. Stony Silence is the card we're looking for. It's got On Thin Ice and a Solitary Confinement. It's close enough. Let's go ahead and just get ourselves a snow-covered plains here and pass the turn. Play out the Sanctum Weaver, pass. So they're going to try to amass a bunch of artifacts here. Against... Against Donovan the other day, and I was on Yawgmoth when he said he didn't know what to side against. Yeah? There's a Springleaf Drum. Sterling Grove. Draw a card, gain a life. There's a Destiny Spinner. This taps for 3 green. And we can go this. And draw ourselves more. Then white, play out the spinner. Cool, cool. Opponent goes down to 19, and we pass the turn here. Ornithopter. Frogmite. Dotcast. Draws 2. Gonna set a stop on our upkeep here. Grab ourselves a Stony Silence. And opponent says, nope, we're not playing that game. Understandable. We go Stony, and then we go On Thin Ice. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we won the die roll here. We'll take the play. I mean, I want to keep this just to see what happens. Like, it's almost strictly wrong. It's a 1-lander. So remove that. Let's start with the Abundant Growth here. So that way we can make any of the colors that we need and try to search for a land. We did not find it. The Sea Chrome Coast for the opponent. Land? That's not a land. Kept a 1-lander. Might be in trouble. Might not be. It all depends. Sea Chrome Dark Slick, meaning Adnaz. Here comes that beautiful printed prism. Yep. So ad nauseum, huh? Cast with 2 colors. Get rid of that pintad prism. Just shut them off of mana. Since apparently we're not going to have mana. Dark Slick. See, do they have pintad prism too? No, but they exile Profane Tutor. Land? Come on deck. So note, 1-landers, not a good idea to keep. The only reason we're in this is because the ad nauseum player chose to let us do things. Phyrexian Unlife, sure. Land off the top. Any land. It's not a land. So green and white. Sanctum Weaver. Gain a life, draw a card. Apparently we can't find mana to save our life. We'll be good next turn. But next turn we're dead, I'm assuming. I'm assuming Profane Tutor here goes and casts and gets whatever they need. Although they don't have enough to cast ad nauseum. So they need spoils here. They go Thoracle, and with trigger on the stack, they go spoils. Yep. Make sure that they name a card that's not in their deck. Okay, they reveal 47 cards. And Thoracle will do its thing. Let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah. Okay, standard deck. So they don't target us with their win conditions. Seal's not awful. Sigil's pretty bad. They're going to be losing to themselves more than losing to us. Confinement can come out here. We need to bring in 2 more. I don't do anything with the graveyard. Stony's not great. On Thin Ice is pretty bad too, because they don't have any creatures. So cut On Thin Ice, bring in an ending, bring in Emrakul. Take out On Thin Ice, bring back in Sigil. Bring in Blood Moon, take out On Thin Ice. There we go. Again, the Stonies don't feel great, but I'm hoping. So we've got redraws and we've got an O-ring. Problem is, I don't think this hand does it against them. This hand it definitely doesn't. This hand can get there with the right set of cards. This is bottom of Sigil and bottom of Utopia Sprawl. Then turn 1, Stomping Ground Sprawl? No. Forest Sprawl. Name white. And we go Sithis Grove. We need one more land here, though. Seachrome Coast Visions. Yep. They draw, they scry. They liked one of the cards. That's not good. Okay. If we shock in here, we're fine. Do this past turn. Running Starling Grove strictly as a tutor effect. That's interesting. It's our only option, really. Dark Slick. See if they go Pentad Prism or not. They exile a Profane Tutor. And they're in step. We're gonna go grab a Blood Moon. Upkeep, draw. Try to resolve a Blood Moon. Pass the turn. And they've got mountains. Play out a Sithis here. Pass the turn. Profane Tutor will resolve. We have to go grab a card. Do they have a way to deal with a Blood Moon? That's what they're trying to find. They grabbed a card. I mean, I guess they can put out a Pentad Prism on one to gain one color. They feel that would be irrelevant. We'll play out that nice mountain here. Go Destiny Spinner, floating a white. Try to draw ourselves a card here. An ending. Not a bad card. Lose the mana. Combat, swing for one. 19 all. Let's see this Force of Vigor. Oh. You're telling me the black-blue deck doesn't run enough green cards? Pentad on one? Yeah. Enchantress's Presence, huh? So play that. It can't be countered. We're gonna draw some cards. We're gonna ending the Pentad Prism. Okay, blue and red. Echoing Truth's the Blood Moon. So they have one turn here to combo off with exactly enough mana if they have a land. They need exactly a blue source. So they can go Angel's Grace into Thassa into Spoils. Well, that's not it. They play out a city. Wishclaw. Okay. Play out Sanctum. Triggers. Yield. I can't cast the Blood Moon anymore because I tapped incorrectly. This for drawing cards. And go ahead and get rid of that Wishclaw. Take opponent down to 13 and pass the turn. We gave them exactly enough time because they were able to play that City of Brass. Let's see if they've got it. Mainly because I messed up tapping there. Sequencing is always important. Profane Tutor. And Pentad Prism on 2. Okay. City of Brass. Yep. So this... First, let's do this. Go get ourselves Plains. Now Blood Moon. Play ourselves out the uncounterable card. Draw some Sithis. And then... Okay. And they concede. All right. So they didn't want to have to Angel's Grace there to go down to 1. And then have no mountains. Or have only mountains. Same deal. Agree with everything that we brought in. We don't need the Sigil or the Emrakul, but everything else is definite we want. I'm assuming they're going to take the play here. And then we've got... Interesting. We've got Sprawl with a Grove to go get... I'm to 1-4. Don't you know it? We're playing Enchantress. That's what it's for, man. How you doing, Co? So it's tempting to keep. We'll try it. We know that they have Echoing Truth. But being able to just go Utopia Sprawl into Sterling Grove plus Utopia Sprawl and then have ending. Sure. Are you gonna take my Sterling Grove here? That feels like such a bad card for you to have to take. But that's what they have to take here, isn't it? 1-0 starting to 1-4. Profit. Exactly. Well, there's a card that's not fantastic unless they have the Pentad Prism. This name white. Hmm. It's funny because the only reason we're running that is because we just didn't have... We took out cards that weren't great. Arguably, Sunny Sense could be like Leyline of Sanctity, but doesn't really buy us anything. Alright, they went one on bottom, one on top. They play out the pathway. Shock in, play out the Utopia Sprawl on here. We'll name white. We've got enough white cards. Stony Silence. Doesn't buy us anything against them currently, but you never know. They visions. So Destiny Spinner's currently 4. One on bottom, one on top. They don't play a land. Well, that just makes it easy. Presence. That fetch. Snow-covered forest. Spinner. Draw a card. We hit for 7 a turn here. We've got the ending in case they do anything. Alright, they're tapping for colors. Endings. I guess if they're going to bring in their own ending, it makes sense. Get rid of our Destiny Spinner. That's one of our win conditions. Got the snow-covered forest and pass the turn. Alright, there's a Pentad Prism. Card that they can't use. Okay, so then we draw a Sprawl. Okay. Go ahead and just Prism it. Do this to spread out our Utopia Sprawls. Go white. Do that. Presents, we're going to now draw 2 off of every draw. Off of every enchantment. I mean, if I have to get to the point where I'm hard casting Emrakul, we're doing it. We're gonna hit just lands, apparently. Against the Ad Nauseam deck. They've got 7 in hand, we've got 1. Pentad Prism is cast. Go right ahead, opponent. Activated abilities of artifacts cannot be activated. Let's go ahead and just crack this just to thin at this point. Upkeep, we draw a sigil. Okay. Pretty sure at this point we can just start, hopefully, ramping. 3, 4, 5. Sigil, draw 2. We draw the champion and an Emrakul. Okay. So we're 5 mana away from an Emrakul. Makes us a bit sad. But they're not doing anything scary this turn. Because they have to wait until our end step to bounce the Stony Silence. Wow. All right, we're probably about to get ad-naused here because we flooded out. Unfortunate. Oh, well, they didn't. So they're playing out the unlife. They won't lose the game for having less than 0 life. That's good for them. Need more enchantment lands, apparently. Let's go get ourselves a Temple Garden tapped. Upkeep, we draw. Can we draw an enchantment? Prismatic Ending. That'll work. X is 2. Get rid of their unlife. Pact of Negation, unless they pay 3. Well, so that means that they lose unless they have an Angel's Grace. So they now have to have Angel's Grace? Because they can't use Pentad Prism? There's the Angel's Grace. City of Brass. Tap City, play Thoracle, and has the spoils too. Let's see the spoils. Woo! Flooded out. Of course. Would have drawn us those 2, which would have drawn us those 2, which would have drawn us those two. So we've got Sithis, Enchantress present, Sterling Grove. Yeah. We're a bit lacking in the lands department here, but only by one. Creativity, huh? Okay. That and fetch. We'll fetch shock. Ending the crab. Alright. Yes, we draw a windswept heath. That's good. I'd like to go get ourselves a snow-covered forest here. That white Sithis past turn. Facing that creativity deck, they're gonna bolt Sithis, sure. Man, you know, it's a shame we don't have another one of those in our hand. They get the triumph. Makes sense. I'm trying to enable the dwarf side of things. Stomping Grounds tapped. So the question here is going to be, is this the normal creativity, like Emrakul stuff? Or is it the Archon of Cruelty stuff? That's what we're looking at. Paying costs. They're drawing a card. Okay. Meaning they either have it right here with a Dwarven Mind plus creativity on their dwarf. Creativity for X equals 1. Emrakul. Well, the problem is we have to sacrifice permanents. I just want to see what we're drawing. Okay. And so this, we could go Sithis into Utopia Sprawl into Grove. And we have 7 permanents. Moon seems fine. They don't, again, this deck doesn't really target us. We can bring in Veils, I guess. Solitary Confinements, just kind of meh. Yeah, we can prevent damage that would be dealt to us, but if they're going Emrakul, we still have to sack permanents. Go to that. We'll shave A on Thin Ice. On Thin Ice isn't a terrible card because they have those crabs and tokens. Mulligan. Hand has a lot of Utopia Sprawls. I'm half tempted to keep. Just to see if the Sithis redraws are going to be worth it. Keep bottom of Utopia Sprawl. This is definitely wrong, by the way. I just feel that this is probably a terrible matchup. Because we're not really doing anything against their game plan. They're not really doing anything against our game plan. But they have the faster game plan. Got yourselves a snow-covered forest, Utopia Sprawl there. Name white. Pass turn. And they go Scalding Tarn. Yeah, I can't really say I'm surprised about that. This we draw. We draw ourselves a snow-covered plains. That's fun. You green-white. Play out a Sithis. Abundant growth there. Yeah. Gain a life and draw 2. Not a terrible plan. And I'm assuming here comes the bolt. Oh, no. Just a triumph? Meaning we have a shot? Mountain. There's a bolt. And then their prismatic ending, a Utopia Sprawl. All right. Tell me how you really feel, opponent. This we draw land. We'll play out the Sanctum Weaver. And do a Prismatic Vista. Go get ourselves a snow-covered forest. And play out a Utopia Sprawl here. Name white. Not like we need it because we've got 2 plains in hand, but they don't know that we're flooding out. Maybe they just see that we're ramping. Sacred Foundry. It's a fairy? Nope. Just prismatic ending on 2. Neat. And then another prismatic ending. Removal. All right. That's certainly one way to deal with the Enchantress player, is just make it so that way they can never resolve a spell. Well, there's our Destiny Spinner. Show me the Emmy. No permanence. Yep. Show me this dwarven mine into the indomitable creativity. Prismari, make a treasure and draw 2, discard 2. Okay. So we can either make a 2/2 and go to combat and swing for 4. Or we can hopefully draw an Enchantress effect and play that. A basic island is interesting. They get rid of Teferi and Aether Gust. Makes sense. Rah. And go to combat, smack for 4. No point to play out the presence until we can secure it with another redraw. One, two, three, four. Show me the creativity. Creativity wheels into Emrakul. Cool. We're done. Yeah. Interesting. We would have been able to go sit this into Enchantress Presence and then have out Sterling Grove. Blah. It's tempting. Mulligan once. Okay. Pretty good on the mulligan. Get rid of the sigil. Alright. They play out a mine and pass the turn. Meaning we probably want Blood Moon here real quick. Unswept Teeth pass the turn. Okay. Are they about to just have ridiculously nasty Tron stuff? Destiny Spinner. In case it's an E-Tron. I don't think it's E-Tron with the chromatic star. Problem is we can't do anything until next turn. And draws a card and then goes scrying. Gets the power plant. Power plant's found. And they have 2 mana. Sterling Grove pass the turn. Never Electrictron. Yeah. I could have swung there for 2. I don't think that's going to be the deal breaker here. Especially not when they go to 10. Is this just Ulamog? Cast trigger has to hit lands. I mean, we don't beat the Ulamog at this point. Yeah, we'll go ahead and concede. We don't beat that card resolving. We can go get Solitary Confinement, play out the Stomping Grounds, block for a turn. We need a land. Doesn't matter what we're drawing because we'd have to be searching. Okay, Blood Moon in Confinement stays. Antha and Ice can come out. Suppression Field can come in. It makes their Planeswalkers cost mana. Prismatic Ending's not great. Rips or Stony Silences can come in. They're not awful. Then we can bring in our Titan. And try it like so. Right? Who would have thought? So we have the Sterling Grove on turn 2. We'll try it. It's probably a turn slow. Not when they have to mold a 4, though. Tron on 4 ain't too great. I mean, don't get me wrong. Tron on 4 can still pull off miracles. But Power plant into map. That's a card. Play out the Sithis so that we have a draw effect. There's the mine, so they're gonna have Tron. But will Tron be enough? That is the question. There you go, searching with the map. Makes sense. Grabs tower. Seven mana. What we doing? Great creator. Okay. Goes down. Not too scared of a great creator here. Grabs Oblivion Stone. Buys them some time with that card. Not enough, funnily, though. Because this gets Blood Moon. This, go get white. Abundant growth on the plains. So we can draw. Now we go. Red 1/1. Blood Moon. That, get rid of a Karn the Great Creator. Karn can go down here once more or go up on the O-Stone. Sphere. Sphere gets to cycle. Has green. Nature's Claims. Okay. Ancient Stirrings. And finds a sphere. Play sphere, cycle sphere at this point. Yep. Plays star, recycle star. Karn goes down. Gets a Sundering Titan. So we'll be able to cut us off of 2 mana. So this will be white and green. Play out the Sterling Grove. Draw ourselves an Emrakul. That's a nice draw. And then I guess we'll go shock in a Temple Garden here. Double check. Hold priority is control. Let me first turn off auto yields. With trigger on the stack. We're gonna sacrifice this to get a Blood Moon. All right, opponent. Do your worst. A Sundering Titan's hard to beat, but not impossible. We already know that they're going to try to hit the snow-covered plains, which is why we held on to the Windswept Heath. Oh, they're just going to go pop. Okay. Now you have 3 mana. A map. And then you can crack the map. So I know that their hand is Sundering Titan. And a tower. There goes the tower. But they put Gigantha down. This we're gonna fetch and shock. Enchantress's presence. Blood Moon. And draw a card. Suppression Field. Okay. Hope this Blood Moon gets to stick around for a turn. That's just a Gigantha where you get to stick around for a turn. That's pretty good. Because now we don't need Sterling Grove. Or we don't need to tutor with Sterling Grove. And that's a confinement. I'm pretty sure that just seals this game, doesn't it? Presence plus confinement here. Not when I don't play out the Sterling Grove. Yeah, because this is now no generic. Well, again, no generic costs. It doesn't. Oh, well, you can't use for. Sundering Titan stuff. So this. So their hand is Sundering Titan plus Unknowns. Oblivion Stone. They can play the Oblivion Stone, but they can't use the mana. Ghost Stone isn't out. Slightly. And discard Emrakul, the Aeon's Torn. Go with the Grove. And draw some cards. Play out Suppression Field. Draw some more cards. Then play out this and pass the turn. They need land. We're going to put a fate counter on the Gigantha. Sounds good to me. This, we have to discard a card. We'll discard Prismatic Vista. Play this. We have to get rid of this now. 3 mana, search. See, it's not really an out because for some reason we brought in Stony Silence. Abundant Growth, draw some cards. Okay. Might that, draw some more cards. This, play out that, draw some more cards. Name white. I have to move to discard. Discard some lands. One, two, three, four. Karn the Great Creator? Sure. Paying mana to activate. It's to go and reveal something from outside the game. This game is so awkward. Yeah. I mean, I'm making it awkward as heck with the Suppression Field and the Stony Silence and the Blood Moon. We're doing exactly what Enchantress does. Is we just sit here and durdle, and our opponent has to try to find an out. We got 33 left in the library, one of which is Emrakul, so it doesn't really matter how many we have in the deck. You just kind of get to cycle through. An Ensnaring Bridge. Okay. You're going to make this real awkward, huh? All right, we have to discard. We'll discard a confinement to confinement. It's a test and champion. This is a test and champion. Paying 1 too much mana for it. That's fine. Yeah, and play out your Ensnaring Bridge. There's a star. Just going, trying to empty hand. Hard to navigate through the elephant grass. Yeah. So I really don't want to play out this presence because I don't want to be drawing 3 cards every time that we cast. Pithing Needle. Okay. Forget that that taps for 2. Oh, stone. That's how we're gonna get out of this. Always yield to those. Tap for a green, tap for 1, play out the spinner. And we're gonna draw way too many cards. This, that gives us 1 more. Do it like so, so that way they can't target our stuff. And O-Stone. Get rid of the bridge. Swing both at Karn. Both are big enough to get rid of a Gigantha. Karn goes away. Time to clean up. All right. All of those go away. Giving Needle. Name's Destiny Spinner. I mean, we've already O-ringed the bridge. We're on a hope that they don't have a second Karn plan to go grab the O-ring. Actually, the O-ring has Shroud. Or grab the bridge. My bad. They can still grab the bridge. We're on the cast 2. Yeah. 2 more. We're casting Suppression Field Sterling Grove. And then just smashing face. With these constellations. Get rid of the presence. Suppression field, make it so that way no one's doing anything. We've got 11 left in deck. We've got 9 left in deck. This will make it so that way we have 3 left in deck. Yeah. Then we have another O-Stone. Okay. Smash for 7. Also, why does it say that we can activate this? No, it wasn't. It was just saying that we could attack with it. Which is correct. We can indeed attack with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Emmy shuffle. Worm coil engine. Okay. You have a 6/6 blocker. That's going to get exiled. And then that'll be game. This we have to discard. We'll discard Abundant Growth. We really don't need to be drawing anything. Play out the Oblivion Ring. Draw 3. And that should be a concession from opponent. Exile there. These grow. All right. We've got 12 minutes to win game 3. On Thin Ice doesn't seem awful as a way to deal with their couple of their creatures, now that I think about it. But truth be told, I like what we have in. Don't want to cut any of the ramp. Don't want to cut the Enchantress effects. Don't want to cut the Grows. Don't want to cut the Weavers. Don't want to cut the Spinners. We never showed Sigil. Well, we showed Sigil when we discarded it. But they had to be paying attention to cards we were discarding. We have Emrakul. We have the O-Rings to deal with permanents. Yeah. I can see making an argument for a Seal of Primordium. Bringing in a Seal, taking out a Spinner. Yeah. I want to say that way we have just another answer to that O-Ring or O-Stone. Since we know that they're running that. Hand's too slow. Doesn't do anything quick enough. Alright, yeah. Not doing anything quickly with that hand. Okay, we can keep bottom presence and a land. Feels awkward. It's still probably a bit too slow here. Hopefully they kept a much more reactive hand and it's just not going to work out. Okay, we hit our land there, which makes keeping what we did decent. So they're going to have the turn 3 Tron. But what are they going to be able to do with it? And we're going to flood out. That's not what we want to see. Sithis. Yeah, go get your mine. Yep, mine's found. We need naturally Blood Moon off the top. The fact that they're starting with that makes me think that they don't have a payoff. Okay, no payoff. So Blood Moon off the top here is really what we want. And Forest is revealed. And they get a map, so they can get another card. Another tower, meaning that they'll have 10 mana next turn if we don't have the Blood Moon. If we do, they have the Forest. Alright, well. We'll grab ourselves a snow-covered forest here. And we can gain Shroud. That doesn't do us anything, so Presence. Draw, gain a life. Grove is pretty good. We won't have nearly enough mana. And if they have the Ulamog, we lose. Cool. Not even going to bother playing that out. We go down to 1. They hit probably Plains Forest there. We draw. We have to then go fetching, play out the Grove. We draw 2. Alright, so we've got the Blood Moon and the Sithis in a Sterling Grove. We don't have any way to cast this Blood Moon. Let's keep it. Bloodstained Mire passes turn. Alright. Snow-covered forest pass the turn. Triome. Great. So you're telling me that we're about... Okay. No, that's actually just Mardu. I thought we were gonna... Okay, Mardu Reanimator? Alright. Mardu Reanimator. Well... Show me this Persist. Yep. Persist gets an Archon of Cruelty. We have to sacrifice a creature. We have to discard a card. Then we lose 3 life. And that's going to happen every single turn. And then they Thoughtseize for good measure. They take the 3rd Sithis. Alright. We did not draw the On Thin Ice we were hoping for. So endings can come out. Rips can definitely come in. Leyline of Sanctities can come in. Blood Moon's not good against... I mean, yeah, they're 3-color. I really think the 3rd color is just for ending. Cut a spinner. Cut a Cetessan. Feels wrong to go down on an Enchantress effect, but we'll go down one Abundant Growth instead. All right, I'd love to take the play. We've got 2 on Thin Ice. Yeah. It's a keepable hand. No rip, but that's fine. Okay, mulligan down to 5. Down to 4. Okay. Alright. This, that. Go get ourselves a snow-covered plains and pass the turn. Marsh Flats, fetch. Sacred Foundry, Shoxin. Ragavan, huh? Sterling Grove. We'll take 1 monkey hit. Monkey's not that scary of a card. Monkey hits, reveals a Windswept Heath. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. So this is just like Marduk's Stoneblade that just happened to have a Reanimator start? That's impressive. Play out a 2/3 here. It's got Shroud. Okay. A lack of a land. Very interesting from opponent. Huh. I kind of like going this route. That for white. This on Thin Ice. Choose the land to enchant. Get rid of Stoneforge. Just either stuck with Cauldron complete in hand for a good while. We're not going to swing with the 2/3. They tear away the Sterling Grove. Okay. Now what? Do you bolt my Destiny Spinner and get in for 2? Oh no, we're going to ending the on Thin Ice. So they get another card to strand in their hand. Skull. Play this out. On thin ice, go there, and draw a card. On thin ice, the Stoneforge. This fetch for a snow-covered forest. This Utopia Sprawl on the forest. And name white. We'll pass. Don't want to play out the confinement yet because we're not past parity. They finally hit their second land drop. Stoneforge number 3. So 3 of their 5 cards are artifacts for Stoneforge. Champions, pretty good. Guessing that'll give us our draw engine here. Goes to a 2/4. So they finally have Stoneforge available to them. Okay, are you putting in Cauldra? Okay. You have a 5/5. It does not have... I mean, yeah, I'll take it. Down to 14 I go. This we draw. We draw perfectly well. Solitary confinement. And draw a card. And go our person. Do that. Do this. Sterling Grove. Draw a card. Yep. We do that, and then we animate the 2 lands, because it'll be 8. We tap for green, and we smack for 4 plus 16, and they have trample. They have 1 toughness. All right. Kind of makes me want Suppression Field. I don't think that's right. Seal of Primordium's interesting. It can hit the Batter's Skull. The only real way that we're dealing with the yeah. I think we just run it back. The only way we're dealing with Cauldron completes Oblivion Ring or on thin ice the token. Nope. Turn 2 presence or turn 2 champion. Against the Mardu deck, that doesn't seem awful. We'll try it. Bloodstained Mire. Like, it's going to end up being awful. Because they're going to have the prismatic ending, so it won't be turn 2. There's the Triome. There's the Swamp. There's a stone forge. Stone forge goes and grabs, I'm assuming, complete. Bee skull first. Okay. This we draw. We're gonna flood. Play out the champion. Need a 1-mana enchantment. Ideally, like on thin ice here. They have the bolt. Feels great. And they attack for 1. Enchantress's presence. Play out the snow-covered plains. Pass the turn. We're gonna flood out. Thoughtseize. Take your pick, opponent. Yeah. Yeah. I'm crying for me. Sigil of the Empty Throne off the top. Sigil. That is not a sigil. That can go get us a sigil, though. Yield to the presence. And draws ourselves a flooded strand. Monkey goes in. Monkey hits damage. Monkey exiles. Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Assuming they're not going to enchant one of our forests. This, we're going to go get ourselves that Sigil of the Empty Throne at this point. Okay, they fetch. Are you going to make us mill one? Sigil draw. Bada bop. This fetch for a basic forest. As tear. Of course. So, again, should have played around them having tear. Okay, we've got a champion, though. We're not out of it yet. Or we're not... Yeah, we're not out of this game yet. Because, yeah, they get in a Battle Skull and then they get a hit for 7. But if we hit 1... A single enchantment here... We can draw, ideally, Solitary Confinement. That's our best draw here. Because team goes sideways, we have to take it. Monkey hits. Sithis. Fun. Thoughtseize. Well, we still need Solitary Confinement at this point, or else we're dead. Solitary Confinement, or else we're dead. Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard and draw. Discards a Pyromancer and draws 2. And then being a land. confinement. Cool. Flooding out with the 1/4. But well, it may have been a 1/4. It's 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. It's very close. The only one that wasn't close at all is the Indomitable Creativity. Again, I just think that Enchantress can't handle that deck's game plan. So that's kind of going to be a loss. But Enchantress felt fun. I enjoyed playing it, even though our record is god-awful. That being said, it's a fun list. It's a great way to attack how you're supposed to win Magic at a completely different angle. So I think it's definitely a fun little thing to be taking a look at if you can or want to. That being said, I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good one.